Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Prowess Goes Live. I am so glad to be back doing all of these. I was just telling the ladies right before this, I am hopped up on matcha. I am hopped up on bone broth, all the things. All the things. So excited to have all of you here today. And we are bringing back a guest, which I absolutely love doing. So today, well, actually, let me take it as a step back. For the month of May, we are talking all about how to showcase your business, how to showcase your work, and how to do that in a way that is authentically you. And that is why I am so excited about our guest today, who is really focused on taking you out of doubt and more into alignment. So really pumped to get started. But before we do, everyone put into chat, because I love going back and forth on all these. Put into chat, what is your morning drink? What is your morning drink that really gets you excited? And whether it's caffeine, not caffeine, what is it? Put it into chat. Dirty chai latte. Okay. I just had one of these for the first time, probably 3 months ago. So good. So good. Mine, cafe au lait with almond milk. So good. Just had a matcha, like I was saying. Skinny white mocha with an extra shot of espresso. Some days too. Okay, Natalie. Someone's not afraid of caffeine. Love it. Love it. Black, just keeping it black coffee. Love that. All the coffee, Leah says. Lemon water. I love that one that's coming from LinkedIn. Lemon water. Yeah, absolutely. Can't say the same. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, I'm Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project. What we do at Prowess Project is we connect CEOs with their dream right-hand person. And so what we call those right-hand people are online business managers. You can think of them as a cross between a strategy of a COO and the execution of a virtual assistant. What we do is we help train these women to be these incredible operators, and then we match them up with the CEOs who need them to scale. And so each week we want to bring you the latest and greatest on how to start your OBM business, keep up your OBM business, expand it, all of the things. And so again, today I am thrilled to bring back one of our guests, Miss Jennifer Urezzio, the founder of Soul Language, who again is talking to us about self-doubt and how you turn that into soul-led success. And what I really like about this is it sounds very woo-woo, but she is the queen of giving us actionable strategies. So without further ado, Jennifer, how are you?
I'm good, good, good. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Yes. Oh gosh, so excited. So I know that you did this the first time you came in, but for everyone who this is the first time meeting you, can you give you a little bit or give us an overview of how you got to where you are today and what you do?
Yeah. So I started off in marketing and PR, and I was wound up in the end, towards the end of my career. I was the person that you would call to get clients on national TV, right? So PR people would call us, the firm, because I could help get their crazy clients on national TV. And I was really good at it because I would tell the truth to the media, and I wasn't allowed to talk to clients because I would tell the truth to clients. Now I get paid to tell the truth. And I was like, I know that there's something bigger inside of me. I don't know what that is, but I know that there's something bigger. So I started pursuing that. And as it happens, when you ask big questions of the universe, you get big answers. And before long, I knew that I was a powerful healer of service in the spotlight. I was like, great, what do I do with that? And I was speaking at a conference about essential oils and life purpose. And I walked off the platform. People were like, "Can you tell me about my guides and teachers? Can you tell me about this?" I was like, "Uh-huh." And I walked away with clients and a whole business in coaching. And I also walked away with the foundation or starting to understand what soul language is, which is a paradigm that puts tangibility of soul and the soul of the business. Why do you want that? So you can actually have a clear conversation and you can put consciousness into your business. If your business is not where it is wants to be, no judgment, it's because what you're putting into it energetically is not consciousness. You're putting your pain and programming into that business. And so I teach people how to put consciousness into their business.
And when you say pain and programming, what does that mean to you?
That means that you're putting your patterns that are not sustainable. So everyone at some point in their lives feels not enough, right?
Yeah.
But if
Mhm.
you are approaching your clients with that overwhelming feeling of not enough, your business is going to be vibrating at not enough. So you'll put yourself on the D list, which is discounting, devaluing, degrading. So how that looks in a tangible way is, oh yeah, no, I can do that even though it's not part of our contract. Oh no, that's okay. I'll include it into the, 5 hours that, I'm supposed to be working for you, but then I'm really working 15 and I'm afraid to come back to you and go, look, uh, you keep putting stuff on my to-do list and this doesn't include it in this budget that we originally set. Right?
I love that you gave that example because that happens
All the time.
all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And I think a lot of people are afraid to have that conversation, that short thing that you just said at the very, very end. And so I want to put a pin in that and come back because I first want to really define how you can be soul led, but then how to have those what can feel as tough
Oh,
conversations.
so that's very interesting because what you said, you could be soul led and had those tough conversations. Being spiritually led or soul led means that you honestly, fully and completely are doing what is in your greatest good of all, whether everyone on this planet believes it or not. Meaning you're operating from a place of wholeness and completeness. So if I'm over servicing a client, and listen, I'm a master of service, I over service people all the time. But if I'm over servicing people to self sacrificing, that's not in my greatest good of all. So I'm not operating from a place of wholeness and completeness or being soul led. So,
Hmm.
in other words, you have to have those conversations. You just have to have it in a way that you feel good about it. And what happens is people keep attracting clients that now, not with you because you match make, right? But
Yeah.
they normally they'll attract clients that are filling this programming that they want to heal and they have to make that choice. So I'll give you an
Yeah.
example.
Give me. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So when I tell people how to pick their clients energetically, I use the reference of the Peanuts, the cartoons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my people are Sally's and Linus's, right? Look at
Uh-huh.
Sally and Linus. Happy, go lucky. Sally sits in a garden patch, pumpkin patch, but when pushed, she will let people know she's pushed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Linus, full of love, wants the best for everything, right? But he does have boundaries. He does draw lines. I
Mm-hmm.
won't work with a Charlie Brown because that's all victim energy and I have warrior energy and I just want to eat those people for breakfast, right?
Oh my God, I can relate to that. Yep.
Right? But I used to work with the Lucys. Now, what is Lucy infamous for? Pulling that football. She will pull that football. She will say she won't, but she will pull that football, right? So I kept, attracting and letting Lucy's hire me. And I was trying to fill a hole. I was trying to prove from a pattern that I am enough, even with people who don't see my value.
Huh.
So the day
Wow.
came, yeah, this is a great story. So the day came, and I'm on the phone with a Lucy, And I could start to feel and hear her start to blame me for her not moving the needle in her business. I'm not doing your to-dos. I'm not doing the internal work, right? Like, and she's like ready to do it. And I was like, listen, I'm going to send and she's already done half of her sessions. I'm going to send you your money back, all of it. Right. And as I'm saying it, I'm like, do, 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 PayPal, boop, 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 boop. Right. She's like, well, what do you mean? I was like, I just don't think I'm the person for you. I just don't think I can help you. She's like, well, when am I going to get my money back? I was like,
Already
oh, it
did.
should be right. You should have just gotten a message. Now, it took a couple really solid things for that to happen. One, it took me putting into myself and the energy of the business that I'm enough. It took knowing that I was loved, supported, and provided for, and that she wasn't the source for me, a resource. And it took understanding. Sorry, I just need to text a client this story because we just had this conversation and this will hit it home. And it took me knowing that that money, I don't know how, would be replaced.
Yeah.
Right. So when I did that, the next day, I got a new client. I don't even know how it happened. I was like, well, how did you find me? And they're like, you're going to think I'm crazy. I was like, no. They're like, God. I was like, no, I love that actually. Right. I got a bigger client that replaced that one, a client that was my perfect match. Right. And I continuously got bigger clients because I wasn't trying to take on the Lucy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so good. That's so good. And it's true. It's true. When you do, you let go of the ones who feel depleting. And it makes room for so much more. We're in the process now at Prowess of really, we know who our customer is on this like CEO side, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to get even more specific. And of course I got real nerdy on it, and I created like this big long list of all the different things that we want in a client, and then had ChatGPT kind of help me like source rank all these different industries. But then, like, for lack of better terms, there was one like Trump like column, and it was like, do they fill us up? Do
Right.
they make us excited?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that was going to be worth so much more than all of the logical type of criteria.
Yeah.
So I love that you say that. Really
So on
do.
a soul language level, I work with coaches sometimes to ID some of their clients. And by the fourth client, I was like, I can tell you who you're attracting and why. And we could switch it. So I was working with this sales coach to ID some of her clients. And I ID'd about 20 different clients. And we just did discovery sessions where I just ID one of the languages, right? There was no commitment on her end. And I was like, okay, so there's this soul language called messenger, and you're attracting a lot of messengers. And I go to ask them, what's your message? And they're like, deer in headlights freeze. So you're trying to sell a sales product into a bunch of messengers that don't know their message. And you need a
Mm.
product there first. Right. So
Mm.
there's so much that happens on an energetic level. So it's also not only about, the stats, which I love the stats, right? But it's really about, like you said, the end. Do they fill you up? The energetic feel. And I think most people forget, especially when they're running a service based business, that it's sort of like dating. And most people forget this in dating as well, right? Like, you can pick who you want to date. You don't have to pick or say yes to the first person that comes along, right? And when you do that, when you're really clear about what you offer, who you offer it to, and who you want to work with, then it becomes like this fun game of like, hey, that person came in. And it also allows you to say no to the people that don't. You can still support them, but then you just hand them off to someone else who is their perfect match. Excuse me.
I also love that last piece. You don't have to service everyone who comes to you. And then if you want to take it a step further, it really helps, I don't know, just karma and just partnerships in general if you have someone else that you could send them to.
Right. And here's the thing. What stops people from doing all of that is this doubt, right? Am I good enough? Do I have enough? Will I have enough? If I pass them over to someone else, will I ever get another client? Like, there's all of that chatter in the background that prevents you from receiving these avenues and the universal resources, right? So you really have to kind of, with deep love for yourself, really understand what the doubt and how it's playing out in your business. So several years ago, I had this conversation with doubt and fear, because those are my big things. And they look like Laurel and Hardy. And I said to Laurel and Hardy, like, doubt, which was Hardy, I'm like, do you think he might leave Jennifer alone? And doubt went, nah, I fear it. And I turned to doubt and I was like, do you think he might leave Jennifer? No, I doubt. Like, I'm like, okay, I get it. Right. And when you put doubt and fear in those criteria of Laurel and Hardy, for me, how can I take those too serious? Like,
Totally.
right. And so when those come up, I'm like, oh, hello, Laurel and Hardy. Like,
Laurel, what's up, girl?
what are we doing here, right? And that's the moment where I go back into my connection with my personal soul and my business soul for the answers.
Wow. Okay, so thank you. You're really carrying the show in so many ways, because I got completely sidetracked and now I want to go into safe doubt. What is safe doubt?
So I think so often people, when you have this feeling of doubt, I think people can register it in two different ways. Okay. One, there's the doubt that's keeping you in the illusion of safety, right? And
Okay.
then there's the doubt where people are doubting, but what they're not really fully understanding is that time they have to go into discernment. So I'll give you a perfect example. So about 10 years ago, I was going to do this event with this other woman, and we signed the contract. I signed the contract. Let's be clear, the first time. She's like, I don't think I can do it on that date. Okay, sign the contract. All right, let's re-sign the contract. So I couldn't re-sign the contract. Like, I'm really action oriented, but it would go from one side of my desk to the other side of my desk, the other side. And I was like, why am I having so much doubt around this contract? Right now, there are some people who go, oh my God, I'm doubt. I'm in resistance. I got to move through the resistance. I must not be like doing things right. Mm. I was like, okay, is this really doubt of resistance or patterning or something that's not serving me? Or is this the doubt that I need to pay attention to, because it's a red flag and it's saying,
Right.
whoa, it was a red flag. Right. And so I had to do all the internal work, and then we went to therapy and we had to pay the deposit. She had to pay, it was a thing. Right. But you have to understand what your energy is doing every time, so then you can unlock how you want to play the game. And I think so often people get that and they just shut down. Business, everything, this whole thing, life is just a giant game, and if you play it right, with consciousness, you're going to be more in the zone of success. If you play it with fear and limit it, you're going to be on the other side. So, when you start to see, like, the contract situation is not life and death, right? Because we think mostly
Right.
everything's life and death, right? When you go, okay, I'm not really being chased by a bear. The house hasn't fallen on me. So let's go in and let's see where this is from pattern, or where this is my unconscious, right? The subconscious really telling me something that on the consciousness is not aware of yet.
So, bravo. But how do you know?
You have
How
to
do you
keep
know?
asking questions, right? So here's the
And so
thing.
what answer are you looking for? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, resistance, you have to understand how you resist things, right? So for me, when I'm in resistance of something, I'm very kid-like. I'm very cranky. I want to kick things. I'm blah, 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 right? Okay, so how do you do resistance, Ashley? Like when you're resisting something, how does it feel in your body?
Hard, heavy. Um, and what do? I put it off.
Okay, so that's the moment where you have to go inside in inner reflection and ask some questions like, why am I resisting this? What old pattern is activated here? What am I afraid of? Right? When you start to break it down, okay? Now, sometimes you're in resistance because it doesn't resonate. Now, if nobody hears anything, please hear this. Okay? Resistance has been used against us in the coaching field. And here's how it's been used. Well, that program doesn't really resonate with me. Oh, Jennifer, you're just in resistance. No, I don't really think I am. I'm telling you, I don't want to do oh, Jennifer, you're in resistance. You're afraid of something, right? So,
Man,
so,
that's manipulative. Wow.
right? So often when people don't resonate with something, they've had to have that fighting feeling in them because they've been told so often, you don't know what you're talking about, right?
Oh my God.
Right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
non-resonating shouldn't be triggered. It should feel like how I feel about cauliflower. I do not like it. You do not hear me going, "Oh my God, why don't I like cauliflower? I wish I liked cauliflower, please." Right? No, I don't like it. Warner keeps trying to serve it up in different ways. He disguises it. And I'm like, this is cauliflower. I do not like it. Right? But,
Cauliflower is tasteless,
right?
Jennifer.
It smells, I don't like it. Right? Right? And so, right? It should be like that. It should be non-charged. But most people
Mm.
don't know it doesn't resonate with them because asking for their wants and needs and what is right for them is unpracticed. Right?
Wow. Yep.
Right? And so here's a perfect example. So in the month of July and August, I don't want to be the host for my podcast. So I've asked for guest podcasters. And I was talking to this old client and friend. I was like, "Do you want to do that?" And he's like, "Well, your shows have like this, you do the ads and sometimes it's very discombobulating because your show is short." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that. That's great. Like now I can change that
Thank you.
now that I
Yeah.
know,
Thank
right?"
you for that feedback. Yeah.
But because of that, I don't want to do it. Now, part of me was like, what the right? But then part of me was like, after I stepped off and didn't take it personally, I was like, oh my God, he knows what doesn't resonate with him. And he said it,
There's a lot
right?
of power in that.
Huge power. I'm like, woohoo, good for him. And
Man.
when you
Yeah.
stop doing things that don't resonate with you, when you don't veto yourself, then your business can grow because you're putting your energy where it needs to go versus fighting with yourself. And
Hmm.
nobody wins when you fight with yourself.
That's so true. Okay, so I want to make sure that I understand what you're saying. So, safed out and unsafed out?
Yeah, you could say it that way.
Okay. So, safed out is when you don't feel defensive. Would that be fair to say?
Safed out is when it's
Threatening.
non-defensive, non-threatening, non-charge, all of that.
Okay. And then because you feel that, you know that it is putting you in the right direction of moving forward something versus when you are feeling resistance,
Which is cranky, kid-like,
cranky.
or shutting down, or however your individual deals
Yeah.
with resistance or doesn't deal with resistance.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. So, um, how do we then take action on that? So we labeled it, we did that, we asked the questions, and then what's the next step?
So I love this because manifestation takes an internal and an external action. Okay. So
Mhm.
sometimes you're like, hey, I want to have this program. And you're like, okay, I'm getting the feeling, or I've talked to my business soul and it's like, do a video series. And you go internally, no, I'm not going to do that. You know how I don't like the spotlight. That's resistance, right?
Mhm.
Your
Mhm.
business soul is never going to say anything that you don't resonate with. It will say things you're in resistance about. Right? And because you called in to do something bigger first for yourself. So it's like an extension of who you are, but it's not you,
Totally.
right? Okay. So video series, I'm in resistance about it. There's the internal things that I need to do. Okay.
Mhm.
So for example, I have no problem with video series, except you have to wear makeup and blah, blah, blah. Right. But say somebody had trouble in the spotlight. So, okay. So they know that they're afraid of the spotlight. They activate safety in themselves, divine intelligence. Fill me with the feeling of knowing that I'm safe to be seen. Okay. Their energy shifts. And then the divinely inspired action is doing the video series. When it comes to something you doubt, the divinely inspired action, once you've done the internal work, could be anything from, oh, I just need to tell Jen, yeah, that her podcast doesn't work for me the way it's set up,
Right.
or I need to write an email, or I need to say no here, or I need to go back and renegotiate because I said yes based on non resonating. And
Mhm.
now I have to kind of rearrange that agreement.
Man, so interesting. So, can you tell me an example of a client of yours who came to you and was acting in resistance and doubt, not the right doubt, and how you shifted their thinking and then what they are doing today?
Yeah. So, oh, okay, we'll do it this way. So I had a client who was doing a newsletter every week uh, because her business coach told her to do it.
Mhm.
And she's like, I hate doing this newsletter. I was like, well, let's talk about why. She's like, I hate to write. And I don't want to see a newsletter every week and I don't want to do it. And it feels like a thing on my to do list and I'm not enjoying it, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay, well, let's see, first of all, if it's resistance or not resonating. So we filled herself with safety because that's the way to determine if anytime you don't know how to shift your energy, you ask your body, divine intelligence, to fill you with safety. So it always creates a little shift, right? So she's like, yeah, it doesn't resonate with me. I was like, okay, so you're either going to have to go back to the business coach and say, yeah, I'm not doing it, or you can just not do it. But then she's like, there was a bigger problem. She's like, oh my God, I realized that everything that this business coach says, I don't resonate with. She's like, I need to fire that business coach. And I was like, well, I can't tell you what to do. We could talk it through, right?
Right.
So she fired that business coach and then she developed her own system of helping take people through the strategy of their business so they felt safe, so they felt heard. So she took that pain and suffering and made it
Oh,
into
I love
something
that.
really great. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's a great one. Wonderful. Wonderful,
Right,
wonderful.
fun, right?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Um, so you already said this, but we may want to underscore it again. If there is one actionable takeaway for everyone who is listening here, and I just want to say this too, because we are talking all about showcasing your work, showcasing what you can do um, for your ideal client, putting yourself out there, sharing case studies. If there is one strategy that you can give everyone to help them do that that feels in alignment, what would you say?
Yeah, they have to determine if they feel safe in the spotlight. Because even though it's a little bit of a spotlight, like you're not like on a stage, if you don't feel safe being seen and heard, that is going to stop you or be painful to
Yeah.
actually highlighting your work. And here's the thing, if anyone's had trauma, little trauma, big trauma, doesn't matter. The response is to go very small, very quiet,
Mhm.
very invisible, right?
Mhm.
So no one sees you, so you're safe. So the
Mhm.
thing that I would strongly suggest people do is start to activate that they're safe in the spotlight. And it's simply divine intelligence. I have a willingness to know that I'm safe in the spotlight. So that's the internal. The
Yeah.
practical is to talk about themselves and write about themselves almost as if it's a movie, right? So they're watching it on the screen. And so there's a little
Wow.
bit of, don't talk in the third person because that would be weird, but there's a little bit of, well, that's me,
Removal.
but it's not me. Right. So it's not so personal. And I heard this great thing. I forget where I heard it. I think I heard it from Angie Glittner yesterday. Um, if it's true, it's not really bragging. Now I'm
Yeah.
paraphrasing what she said, right? If it's true, you're not boasting, you're not bragging, it's just facts. So if you can kind of really understand those facts as you're building up that new relationship with the spotlight, that will help people. And also put it in your client's words because the more, right, it's not in your words, the better it is. So those are some practical tips.
Oh, those are fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Um, no, I really like that. I didn't know what I was expecting, but those like really were things that you can do right away, but also feel so powerful.
Yeah.
Um,
Listen, soul work should be integrated into your everyday life, or what's the point? Right? I'm very tangible because I'm a warrior. So if I can't integrate it as I'm walking the dogs or into my everyday life, I'm not going to do it. So, and I want people to be truly successful. So,
yeah.
one of the things I always ask my clients is, what are you going to do today, tomorrow, this week, this month, this quarter, and this year to grow your business? Consistency is key, both internally and externally.
Oh, internally. Wow.
Mhm.
It's so true. It's so true. So, this is a question that we ask all of the people who come on our show. All of our online business managers are looking to work with people like you. They are very attracted to big visionary thinkers and just want to like get their hands on your like amazing idea and make it so. So, if they are looking to work with people like you, what are some either you can answer this as challenges in your business that you know that you are working on or opportunities in your business that maybe it's not something that you would want done or you want to do, but you know that you would delegate to have it done as examples that they can use and
Yeah, I think one of the key things is always social media. All
Mhm.
visionaries hate to do social media. Like they like to come up with the content, but they don't want to post. They don't like it can it we're like especially introvert, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm an introvert, like you got 59 minutes with me, and then I'm like out in the world, and then I'm like, I gotta go home, right? But
Yeah. Yeah.
so they're always talking about social media. Like I have a social media person, right? So I'm like, just make it, and I love that you said make it so, because I love that phrase. Just make it so, right? I think one of the things that they are really looking for is a lot of structure, a lot of those stuff. Visionaries love the ideas. They despise doing all the little tactics. Now, I love doing the tactics sometimes because I'm a warrior and I like to go, boop, that's done, boop, that's done, right? Like, and sometimes doing those kind of tactics I get big ideas because my hands are busy, right? But most people don't, they don't want to do that. They don't want to set up the templates for the
Yeah.
emails and they don't want to do
Yep.
the newsletter and they, oh my God, just handle the billing and the invoicing, like all of that stuff, all of the details they despise to do. So that is one of the things. And with visionaries, they really want to understand that you get the vision, that you understand what that vision is.
So, yes, as you were describing all of those things, and God, it's like you're reading my mind, which I
Mm,
think you kind of are. Um, you were saying like social media, and you were saying newsletter and content, all of those things, and all of that is true. But and yeah, that's good to have off your plate. But really, where like the rubber meets the road is understanding the visionary's vision and taking all of those things that need to be made so, but having that story behind it that all is that thread
yeah.
so that you're not just like, you know,
You're not, you're not,
putting
see what
stuff
I
out there and
love,
hoping it
right.
sticks.
Not only that, but what I love is I love to go, here, this is idea, make it so. And I love when people come back to me and go, have you thought about this? And Jen, why is this way? This is what I do all the time. Why is it said this way here and that way there? Which one do you want? Like, really, that kind of team member that like
Yes.
is a mini me, but
Yes.
and is missing, is catching all those things I'm missing, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes, because they love the details, because they love consistency, because they understand where you're going, because they don't want to confuse a customer because a
yeah.
confused customer doesn't buy. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so what I'm thinking, in movies, there's the continuity expert, right?
Ooh,
And
yeah.
that's what you guys need to
Yeah.
be, is a continuity expert. And one of the things I'm really great at, and I love when I catch it in a movie, is, oh my God, the continuity expert totally missed that. And the one I always think of is in Ocean's 13 when Julia Roberts is descending the stairs and Brad Pitt is at the end. In 1 minute of the scene, he has a flat plate. He's always eating in that movie. Every part of that movie, he's
Yeah.
eating, right? One, he has a flat plate. And in the next, literally the next scene, it's a bowl with shrimp, right? And I'm like, oh, how did they miss that? Like, really, like that's huge continuity there, right?
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
so I only catch it in movies because I'm really visual, right? And I'm
Right.
not kind of, I'm taking time to look at it. I'm looking at the right, but in my business, warrior, right? So I can miss those things. So I think visionaries need that person to help them be the continuity expert, the detailed expert, and also the poker that goes, hey, I know you said you want to do this. Are we doing that? Or did you lose sight of that? And you said that this is the big vision. I had this idea about that in the shower this morning for you. Those are people I love.
Those are people who are worth their weight in
Yeah.
gold, and the CEOs will fire sell everything before getting rid of those type of people.
Yeah.
Job security right there. Wow. So good. So good. Okay. So where can everyone find you? How can they start working with you if they are like, I resonate with absolutely everything that Jen is saying? where can they find you?
So the best place is soullanguage.us. You can also go to soullanguage.us/quiz and take the energetic leak quiz to find out where you're leaking in your business, which I love. And you'll get actually a tangible tool at the end of that quiz. And then, of course, you could sign up for a discovery session under Soul Language discovery session. Um, or some sort of like that under soul language, where you can have one of your soul languages identified as my gift. And that gives you some real time with me. There's no agenda with that. I love doing those sessions. So those are a couple ways.
Amazing. So I know everyone that the term like she has a gift is overused. No, 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 no. Jen does.
Thank you so
Jen
much.
does. Yes, you truly, truly do. Every time I talk to you, I feel so understood and heard and seen. And so I appreciate your time with us today. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
I got a lot of both um, ideas and inspirations for things that I need to be working on or could be working on
Hey,
internally and also externally. So I'm very excited.
thank you so much. It's been an honor to be here again. And
Yes.
thank you. It was fun.
Yes. Until next time, y'all, if you are curious about becoming an online business manager or what that could look like for you, or if you're already an online business manager and you want to see how you can get involved with Prowess a little bit more, we are going to put the link to a discovery call, 15 minutes just to chat with us, what you're up to, and to help us better understand how to serve you. So we will be back same time next week. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye, y'all.